Good afternoon all. Yeah, right at the clock. Good afternoon all. Uh, so my plan is to take you all to the trip to North Pole. That's we call it measuring the true ROI. Let's see if we achieve that at the end of presentation. Yeah. ROI is a very vague term. Many people feel that measuring LTV, which is in-app purchases, or your paid app, if that gets downloaded, is ROI. But what is true ROI, that we call true north, is what we're going to figure out. Before that, so as per the Forrester's research, 67% of marketers either can't or don't measure their ROI. This is as per their research. Pretty much true in Indian landscape also to that level, and I'll tell you why. It might sound like that, no, that's not really true, that's a high percentage, but I'll tell you why it is like that. So firstly, all of us know the mobile marketing is, mobile landscape is completely fragmented. We have agencies, ad networks, search campaigns, organic, burst campaigns, so on and so forth. So keep track of measuring your ROI across each and every channel is little challenging. Why I'm here, a couple of data points and about my credentials. So most of you who know, my name is Sanjay. I represent AppsFlyer. Also known in this industry as Attribution Authority. We help marketers measure their ROI. We are an unbiased, independent platform for advertisers and publishers to measure their effective campaign performance. I think if there's one thing you need to know about AppsFlyer, I would say this is a key slide. When I say completely unbiased and independent, we don't have any commercial integration or alliance with any of the media sources, so therefore our data is not going to be skewed. Some of the customers that we onboarded recently and were using something else before us said that prior to using us, they had a little skewed numbers towards a particular media source. And after using us, they saw that there was a true picture of how their ROI was coming in across all media sources. We have more than, in terms of scale, we have more than 12,000 advertiser accounts. We integrate with about 2,500 media sources, technically everybody on this planet. We track more than 500 billion events every month. Most importantly, our investors, Magma, Deutsche Telekom, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity Investments. So this is a quick snapshot of our global reach. This is a research done by Mighty Signal, Mobo, SafeDK, all third-party research companies. Our global market share is upwards of 67%. This slide is slightly dated. I'm sure it's going to get revised than this. Our India market share, by the way, is about 56%, which was close to about 25% points jump year on year. A quick snapshot of our global customers across various verticals. You have commercial, commerce, gaming, retail, hyperlocal, HSR, so on and so forth. Not going to spend much time here. Jumping back to our topic, measuring ROI. Now, everyone, all of us know LTV should be greater than cost of acquisition, cost of acquiring a customer CAC. Well, that is the golden formula. What really defines LTV is the question. Is pure in-app purchases for commerce or subscription for games or paid app downloads really the LTV? That's what we're going to figure out. Yeah, so this is the picture. When you go to North Pole, everything you might be heading in a particular direction, saying north of myself, but that necessarily is not the true north. And this is the perception of ROI measurement also in this mobile industry right now. Yeah, the point is, so we know the challenges. Can we measure it? The answer is, yeah, we know. Yes, we can. Very famous quote for this guy. So we'll break LTV into various things. Firstly, measuring revenue. Now this is a graph put by App Annie. Three key components: in-app advertising, in-app purchase, and paid apps. So we know about in-app purchasing, subscriptions, we know about paid apps, but there's very little impetus being given, or when we calculate ROI on the in-app advertising. Meaning, while I'm a user for, let's say, for the lack of names, let's say Hotstar, guys were talking about Hotstar. So I'm their premium user, I'm doing certain premium purchases and I'm let's say spending about $100 every month. So my LTV for them, is it necessarily $100? No, because I'm consuming a lot of their ad content as well. And therefore there has to be a way to capture and identify across all channels that a guy is, that you have acquired a user, what is the ad consumption that this guy has that adds up to the revenue of that user. If you look at this slide, about 60% of, close to 60% of mobile ad spend was on in-app advertising. And not only is it biggest, but it's the high growth one also. It's about 25% compounded annual growth rate year on year. So it's expected to be about 120 billion. Just in-app mobile advertising is $120 billion by 2070. So this has been, as we say, sorry, I'm a little technically challenged. Yeah. So we know app download revenue, we know in-app purchase, as I said before, we know subscription. The missing piece of the puzzle is ad attribution. So the need of the hour is, the point I'm trying to make is, please identify your third-party mobile measurement platform which can help you track the most critical component of your LTV. What it helps in is, of course, gives you the top, it's a top revenue stream. You can have your enhanced UA and optimization campaigns around those metrics. And of course, as I said, it gives you a complete LTV picture and ROI allocations. The other one, which is in-app purchases, we know it's an help to kind of optimize your path to purchase. You can run effective engagement at lookalike campaigns, and you can have very highly targeted segments. I just put some Indian specific stats that we kind of calculate. So the monthly ARPU for Indian clients is around close to $1, about 90 cents. A quick comparison between organic and non-organic, as you see on the chart. So organic is of course 3x of non-organic. iOS leads big way. The average revenue per paying user, ARPPU, is 17x than of ARPU. If I break it down to various verticals, shopping is ARPU is around 1.8. Again, same stats. Organic is 4x of non-organic, and iOS is 5x of Android. Gaming, of course, culturally we're not into gaming that much, but we're seeing a lot of game developers coming in, a good traction, at least we see on our platform. Game, it's improving and developing far higher. So again, close to about a 50 cents of an ARPU. Organic is 7x than non-organic. There's very little difference between iOS and Android. So about 1.5x of Android is what iOS is. So the second variable to this equation is cost, and it's very important to identify and measure the cost. So the key element, when you are investing in doing user acquisition is, what kind of a non-organic installs am I going for? First of all, most of the people ask this question: is it important to buy? Why should we run non-organic campaigns? Organic gives good quality. What are the ways to to optimize the organic installs? Of course, we have to pay for users because of multiple reasons. Number one being, App Store does not look same as it was, let's say, a couple of years back. The app discovery is largely broken. We have more than 2 million apps on iOS, more than 2.5 billion apps on Google Play. The App Store logic per se has changed. In the past, we used to, all of us know that, there was to be these instant campaigns and burst campaigns. The idea was, while it was to generate your user base, but effectively what it did is improve your App Store ranking, and therefore organic download would increase. So we call it organic multiplier. So organic multipliers were far high before, but which is not the case now. So what do we do? So yeah, we can pray and hope that our cost goes down, our user account increases. Probably Apple features you somewhere. You can do a lot of PR campaigns. But as somebody said, someone said, you take the matters in your own hand and run the marketing campaigns in a more effective way. I spoke about organic multipliers before. It's not the case. So before, what used to happen, go back to this slide. So you see, today an organic multiplier is for every non-organic install, you may get, say, half an organic install, versus before where it was 2x. So in the past, while the goal was getting organic and means to that was doing non-organic installs, the present, non-organic is no longer the means, it is the goal. Of course, organic stands there, but non-organic is the goal to get a good non-organic quality install. The bottom line, good. So the bottom line is that you will be able to maximize net having organic and non-organic both. It's very important. Another key component for the cost parameter is, are you able to track cost? By that I mean, is your attribution partner able to provide the cost data to you? And I don't mean only Facebook and Google. There are other leading ad networks, agencies and affiliates, good quality ones who track that. Make sure that your cost data, your integration with the mobile measurement platform not only provides you good quantity, but a good quality of networks that they work with and have a cost integration. It's a very, very important parameter to have for you to check. Of course, LTV, as I said before, which is all forms of purchase streams, and then the cost there itself in the dashboard. That gives you a clear-cut picture of the cost. And not only a particular format, you have CPC, CPI, CPM, all formats. Sorry. So coming back to ROI, again, this is India-specific number, not the global numbers. So a 90-day ARPU, I told you a 30-day ARPU of about 90 cents. The 90-day ARPU is about $2.7. And an average cost per install is about 70 cents. So looks cost positive, looks, things look pretty rosy as per this equation. And at the first I was surprised, like, wow, so we're like really, high ROI economy and a country. And then I looked at the second variable, which is retention. So this is where the entire equation goes for a toss. So we know, I don't know how many of you read my last article, which was on the retention rate. So we know between Android and iOS, there's like a couple of percentage difference. So I think iOS D7 is about 14.5% retention, and D30 goes about 3.5–4%. And pretty similar with on Android also, maybe a percentage less. So 90 days it looks positive, 60 days still better, 30 days is when it starts getting struggling, and all of us know retention is challenged. So most of the advertisers that I meet, is one of their big challenges is how to retain a client. So at a 15-day ARPU, you're going really negative. So I'm breaking it down to shopping, which is a very high ARPU, as I said, on 90 days. Looks positive. This is for gaming. So we saw two components, purchase revenue, which has in-app purchasing, and the critical component, as I said, ad revenue, and then we saw cost. The third and the most critical component, and I wanted to spend more time on this, is fraud. Fraud is not something which is new to us, at least at AppsFlyer. I've been countering and fraud for a very, very long time. And I know how many of you have got exposed to our product called Device Rank, which was launched, say, about October last year, which made a lot of noise in the market in our completely revolutionizing the way you identify fraud and detect and prevent fraud. So it's a complete big database in-house developed tool, which captures about 20 metadata signals of various parameters on every device. So when there's a click, install, or an event happening, it just checks for those signals and rates each device on a various, like you have those in mortgage system, you have like credit rating, so it gives a score for device. So A, B, C. So anything that is rated as C is a confirmed fraud and is not even sent a post back. So you save your money there, which was not the case before, right? So there was install happening and your mobile measurement platform would show that. Then we doubled it up this year by getting into far more details on not only firstly, fraud should be detected and prevented at scale. So coming back to what I was saying is that the first thing was on detection, and the second thing is on prevention. We did a deep dive into each and every install happening and identifying the parameters on that, click to install time, click hijacking, install hijacking, click injection. There are a lot of cases we saw wherein your organic install is getting hijacked through a non-organic one. The problem is not only that you are paying for that install, the problem is that everything downstream looks very rosy for that partner because he's hijacking your organic installs. So again, I think the point I'm trying to make on this fraud is identify a partner which has great detailed understanding of fraud. AppsFlyer, by the way, has got 98% footprint on the mobile devices. We track about 2.2 trillion transactions on these devices and identify each and every device on click install and event time, and then rate and rank them. And of course, this is just the detection and prevention piece, and then we do deep dive analysis on if there is something passing through the crack, what is possible, click to install time, is there any strong contributors to assisted installs and things like that. We'll talk more about. I can't spend a lot of time on this fraud topic. It's a very, very big topic, and I'm happy to take all your questions. We can meet on booth outside and I'll tell you how this happens. The crux is that identify a partner who can identify clearly, not only detect but prevent from fraud from happening to you. This is, by the way, a global index of fraud. Don't be surprised if you see there is less fraud in India. I was also surprised at first, but this is a relative figure of the amount of clean devices versus the number of flawed devices. So on that scale, India is still low. One of the reasons is the commission or the incentive of doing fraud in India is not as high as it is in Germany or China because the payouts are not far higher. So still on a global index, the fraud looks much lower here. To sum it up, for measuring the true ROI, we need to measure revenue from all sources. Remember, non-organic installs is not means but the goal. It's very, very important to measure cost, have an attribution partner who helps you measure cost, and fight fraud. So these key components, variables, sum it up. If we have all of this together, possibly we'll land in North Pole. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I know we're behind schedule, but we should take a couple of questions, and we'll hopefully make up for the time loss in the next few hours. Questions from the audience? Anybody in the back? No questions? So you're available at the booth outside, Sanjay?
Yeah.
Fabulous. So I think we'll come around to you and catch you at the booth. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And may I request Venkatesh to please do us the honors and present Sanjay with a memento, thanking him for his time this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Sanjay Trisal from AppsFlyer. And of course, Sanjay, let's take a selfie with you as well.